What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and today we have another viewer request, Ozai the Phoenix King. And before we get into that, if you like the deck techs, or my discussion content, or my budget content, like Magic for the Working Class, or my 5 budget options to expensive commander staples, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to, only if you want to, and we are only 100 people away from 2,000 subscribers, and that fills my cup a whole lot, friends. When I started this channel, I'm like, I'll just upload some stuff, for fun, but, it's overwhelming. I want to thank each and every one of you that watches these videos. You are amazing. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? We have Ozai, the Phoenix King. He's a 7/7 for 2 generic, double black, double red. Trample, Firebending 4, that means when he attacks, you add 4 red mana to your mana pool. Haste, and if you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes red instead. Good old rhyming there, like Dr. Seuss. Ozai has flying and indestructible as long as you have 6 or more unspent mana. Cool. So, the request was to have Avatar Roku in there. I went a little over budget on this one. My apologies, lo siento, but I wanted to make it functioning. So, let's see what we got here today. We're going to try to do, things. Now, this isn't like $600 or $700, so you won't see, like, Bergie in here, who's pretty expensive, or Treasonous Ogre, who's also extremely expensive, but try to do my best here. So, we have Avatar Roku, the other card that we absolutely had to have in here. Avatar Roku has 6/6 for 3 and triple red pips. So, big scary there. Whenever a player attacks, add 6 red mana until end of combat. You don't lose this mana as steps end. So if you have him out with Ozai, it will save that mana forever so long as Ozai is alive. And then he has like super fire breathing here. Fire breathing, of course, is usually pay 1 red. The creature gets +1/+0, but you can pay 3 red to give him +3/+0. So super fire breathing. We have Blazing Fire Singer. When this creature enters prepared, and it has a Seething Song on its prepared spell, which is add 5 red mana to your mana pool. I put this in here to test it out as like a delayed ramp. You might not necessarily just need the Seething Song right then and there, but being able to use it later, it could be fine. Plus, it leaves you with a blocker once you use it. Electro Assault Battery, flying, and you don't lose unspent red mana as phases end, steps and phases end, and whenever he casts an instant or sorcery spell, you add a red mana. And then when he leaves the battlefield, you may pay X, and if you do, he deals X damage to target player, so you can hit somebody if you kill him. We have Firelord Ozai. He's a 4/4 for 4, and whenever Firelord Ozai attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, add an amount of red mana equal to the creature's power until end of combat. You don't lose this mana as steps end. And you can exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until end of turn, you may play one of those cards without paying its mana cost. We do have a way, we have the easy cheese way of getting infinite combat steps with this, and potentially infinite mana. So as long as your opponents can't block Firelord Ozai while you're generating your infinite mana and attack steps, you can also like take everything from their decks, right? We have Hellkite Charger, flying, haste, and when Hellkite Charger attacks, you may pay 7. If you do, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So if you have enough of your Firebenders out there, you can get infinite attacks. We have Iron Myrrh out here, and Lead Myrrh, and Palladium Myrrh, and Ornithopter of Paradise for some mana dorkage. If we have Ozai out there, you can just tap these if they're not being used to add more mana to your ever-expanding mana pool. We have Kedis. Whenever a commander creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. It's pretty good because he's a 7/7, right? Just dealing 7 around is going to be good. We're trying out my Scornful Striker. So even though we are going to try to cast some spells, it's okay if we lose some life because our opponents will also be losing some life, and ideally we'll be doing more to our opponents. But she has First Strike, and whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. This card's really good, and more people should play it. This is an incredibly strong card. I'm actually going to be working on making her into a paper deck as a commander. We have Raven Eagle. Flying, and whenever this creature attacks or enters, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. If that creature card is exiled this way, create a clue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is in here for a little bit of generic utility, plus he's from the Avatar set. I got so many of these in my pre-release. So many. Runaway Steamkin. Whenever you cast a red spell, if Runaway Steamkin has fewer than 3 counters on it, put a 1/1 counter on Runaway Steamkin. Remove 3 1/1 counters from him to add 3 mana. So a little bit of mana ramp. Zuko, Conflicted. He's an interesting one. He's a 2/3 for 2, and at the beginning of your first main phase, choose one that hasn't been chosen and lose 2 life. Draw a card, or put a 1/1 counter on him, add a red mana, or exile him and then return him to the battlefield. So card advantage is the main thing you're going to want to be doing with him. Zuko, Exiled Prince. He's got Firebending 3, so you get to add 3 red mana. He's a 4/3, which is nothing to balk at. And you can exile the top card of your library, and you can play that card this turn. And then, of course, Zuko, Firebending Master. First strike, 2/2 for 2. I think Wizards made a huge mistake, by the way, in printing these mythic Jumpstart cards into the Jumpstart set, so you can only get them out of collector boosters or Jumpstart, because they're pretty dang good, and it really hyperinflated their price. First strike, Firebending X, where X is the number of experience counters you have, and whenever you cast a spell during combat, you get an experience counter, so you're rewarded for playing your instance. Sorceries. So since we have ways with like Hellkite Charger, and down below we have Aggravated Assault to get us infinite combats, which can generate us infinite mana if we have enough Firebending. We do have some X casting cost spells here. But first we have Blasphemous Act. You know, it's removal. It deals 13 damage. We have Crackle with Power. It deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets. So yeah, you know, triple X. But as long as you can start popping off with your infinite combats, etc. If you're not going to kill them via combat, you can kill them with this stuff. We have Day of the Black Sun. Each creature mana value X or less loses all abilities until end of turn. Destroy those creatures. We don't have too many that are really low for converted mana cost, so you can always use this to just mess up your opponent's little dorky dudes. Decorum Dissertation, of course. Target player draws 2 cards, lose 2 life. Paradigm. So as long as it's resolved once at the beginning of your main phase, your first main phase, it will pop off again, so you can continuously draw. Exsanguinate. Each opponent loses X life. You gain X life, or you gain life equal to the life lost this way. This is, you know, pretty common win count for things when you're having that much mana. Fireball. I wanted to throw the classic in here. You know what? And I know I always update the cheapest, but we gotta do the original here. Unless, yep, here we are. 30th edition. We're gonna go down here. I had never seen that online promo art. We're gonna go down here, and we're gonna. Holy cow! I never realized how many. Yeah, you know what? Beatdown box set. There we go. We're gonna put the OG art in there. But Fireball, the original has X and Y, so you deal X damage divided evenly, rounded down amongst Y plus 1 target creatures and or players. So you pay X for the amount of damage, and then you pay Y for the number of targets you want to hit. We have Jessica's Will, our game changer in here. Of course, is a well-known card. Choose one. If you control your commander, choose both. Add red mana for each card in target opponent's hand, and then exile the top 3 cards of your library. You might play them this turn. We have Mana Geyser. Add 1 red for each tap land your opponent's control, and then Sozin's Comet. Each creature you control gains Firebending 5 until end of turn. Firebending does stack. You know, we have Firelord Ozai up here, right? Or Ozai the Phoenix King. He has Firebending 4. This will give him Firebending 5 in addition to his Firebending 4. Think of like Apex Devastator having Cascade, etc. It will have 2 instances of Firebending on there. 1 Firebending 4, 1 Firebending 5. So he will be able to add 9 mana. You can also foretell this spell by paying it for 2 and then 3. So setting up for a later turn is an excellent choice with this card. Instance, we have a lot because we want to do a lot, right? We have Bedevil, destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. We have Big Score, so you discard a card, draw 2, create 2 treasures. We have Blood for the Blood God, one of my favorite cards. I absolutely love this. I don't know too much about Warhammer 40k. I'm more like a Warhammer fantasy guy. But 8 generic and then double black and red. This creature spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. Discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God. Deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile Blood for the Blood God. Yeah, I gotta say it that way, right? Look at it. It's got exclamation points. You gotta say it. We have Chaos Warp for some removal. Comet Storm. Multi-kicker. Choose any target, then choose another target for each time this spell was kicked. Comet Storm deals X damage to. So think of this like a fixed-ish instant speed fireball. Commune with Lava. Exile the top X cards of your library until your next turn. You can play those cards. We have Dark Ritual in here for a little bit of ramp. Fel the Profane for removal and a land. Flashback. It gives a thing in your graveyard flashback until end of turn. Heartless Act. Rakdos Charm. Exile target player's graveyard. Destroy an artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Seething Song, the original. Sold Out. I did not put Desperate Ritual or Rite of Flame in here, or Cabal Ritual, because those are each like $10 at this point. So, and we are already over budget. I didn't want to go even further over budget, but these two are mostly in here so we can get our Ozai out faster, because he is expensive. Sold Out, exile target creature. If it was dealt damage this turn, create a clue token. Terminate, kills a creature. The last Agni Kai, target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. If the creature the opponent controls is dealt excess damage, you add that much red mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Thrill Possibility, discard a card, draw 2. Unexpected Windfall, discard, draw 2, create 2 treasures. And then we have our artifacts. We have Arcane Signet, we have Soul Ring, Rakdos Signet, and Talisman of Indulgence. For our generic mana rocks, we do have Tablet of Discovery. From Strixhaven, it's when this artifact enters, mill a card. You may play that card this turn. And you can add 1 red, or you can add 2 red, spend it only to cast instant sorcery spells. We have Fire Nation Turret. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target creature gets +2/+0 and Firebending 2 until end of turn. And then you put a charge counter on this artifact. Remove 50 counters from this artifact. It deals 50 damage to each target. So, you know, funny things that you can do there. We have Wayfarer's Bauble for some land get. Our Boots to protect our Ozai. We don't want our Ozai to die because he is such a mana-intensive commander. And then we have Horizon Stone. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colorless instead. Think of this as a backup if your Ozai dies, so that way that mana then becomes colorless and you still get to keep it. Enchantments. We have Aggravated Assault. Like I said, this is one of our combo pieces. You pay 5 red, or you pay 5, untap all creatures you control. If it's a main phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Activate only as a sorcery. You can generate infinite combat steps if you have at least Firebending 5. Black Market. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of pre-combat main phase, add a black mana for each charge counter on Black Market. Descent into Avernus, one of my favorite cards, and I'm sad that it's now $20 instead of $9. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Descent counters on Descent into Avernus. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and Descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of Descent counters on Descent into Avernus. Faded Firepower, triple red and X. It has flash, so you can play it at the end of somebody's turn, or if they try to kill your Ozai when you have a whole bunch of mana in your pool. This enchantment enters with X fire counters on it. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus an amount of damage equal to the number of fire counters on this enchantment instead. Firebender Ascension. When this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 red soldier with Firebending 1. Whenever a creature you control attacking causes a triggered ability, so like your Firebending, you put a quest counter on it, and then if it has 4 or more, you can copy that ability. So it can copy the Firebending. Kratos, so we have Pyrohemia here. Pyrohemia, at the beginning of each end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice an enchantment. This enchantment deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. You can sink your mana into here to kill lots of things. The Legend of Roku, exile the top 3 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those spells. Add 1 mana of any color. Exile the Saga. return it to the battlefield transformed under your control, and then it's just Avatar Roku with Firebending 4. You can pay 8 to create a 4/4 dragon with Firebending 4. We have Underworld Breach. My god, is that hard to read. For 2 mana enchantment. Alright. Wizards, I know nobody sees this channel because it's minuscule compared to the giants out there. But if you're going to do art cards like this, can we at least get a box around the text with like a blank background? Just so it's easy to read. This is incredibly difficult to parse out when there's so much stuff going on. But it has each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice this enchantment. So it gives your stuff escape. Lands, we're running 39. We are running Boiling Rock Prison. You can draw you a card. We have Rogue's Passage for unblockable. So if you get the infinite combat thing, you can just kill someone. We have Fire Nation Palace, which you can give a creature you control Firebending 4 until end of turn. But you could bog, and then, you know, some regular stuff. But that is the build. Let's go ahead and take a gander at playtesting, shall we? So here is our... And someday, friends, we will get this to work a little better. Once I... Alright, you can at least see all those things. So, we're starting with 2 straight up lands, but enters tapped and a bounce land. Oh boy. We're going to try it, though. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to put our Temple of Malice in. We're going to keep Hellkite Charger on top. No, we're going to put Hellkite Charger on the bottom. Bottom of library. I know. I got to zoom out, friends. I need more space. Next turn. We draw a mountain. Huzzah! We're going to put our mountain down. And I am actually just going to play Mai right off the bat. I want to be able to punish my opponents as we go. So, we're going to play Mai. She's 2/2. Nothing too fancy. And then our next turn, we have Descent into Avernus. Now, I can either take 3, or I can... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm actually going to return the... float a red, return this mountain to my hand. And you know what? We're going to say that somebody played something dorky. And I am going to... Heartless Act it. Next turn. Alright. Now... we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana available. I am going to pay the 3 to play Felmire. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 mana of the 6 that we need for Roku or for Ozai. I am going to punch myself in the face for 2 to play Descent into Avernus. So then we do our next turn, untap, upkeep, we get a treasure token. And we get another treasure token. Because it adds 2 descent counters. Descent counters to 2. And then I take 2. We are very quickly going to die from this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use one of our treasures. We're going to play Ozai. He has haste, so we're just going to do this now. I'm going to go ahead and swing for 7. We're going to add our 4 mana to our mana pool. So we have 4 red mana floating. I don't know how to signify this. I'll just remember I have 4 red mana floating. Yeah, so we have 4, and we have 5 mana total available. Now, I could start kicking myself in the teeth by playing Disrupt Decorum, but Mai will kill me very fast if I do that. Instead, I'm going to go to our next turn. We're going to play Rogue's Passage. We get... we're going to have 3 counters here. Oh. Sorry, this goes to 4. So I have 5 treasures. Alright, so now we have big happy time manas. Because we already have the 4 off of Ozai the Phoenix King. 4, 5, 6. We have none floating with Ozai. We're going to play Avatar Roku. We're going to attack again. We get another 4. During opponent's turns, we're actually going to float this mana. So 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 mana. Next turn, we lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. We have Blasphemous Act. I might actually kill my own Mai. Yeah. I'm going to do that. Kill my own Mai. Alright, so we have a bunch of mana available. Because we have 8 in our mana pool. We're going to attack for 7, which puts us up to 12. And he's going to add 6, so we're at 18 mana in our mana pool. I just need an X casting cost spell. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to remove 1. I'm going to play Disrupt Decorum. I'm going to... Or, sorry, not Disrupt Decorum. Decorum Dissertation to draw 2 cards. Damn! Next turn we lose... this should be 8. And then I'm going to draw 2, lose 2, so I lost 10. We are going to play just because, well, please, for the love of God. All right. Now we can cook. Now we can cook, friends. We lose 2. Move a counter here. And we're going to play Blood for the Blood God. No creatures died this turn. We're going to say we have another 5 mana. So we have 23 mana in our mana pool. We're going to discard our hand, which is fine. So, discard our hand. Draw 8. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we have 8. And then we exile Blood for the Blood God. These 2 things. Ooh, these 2 things. I'll play Talisman. I'll play the Mountain. Play the Soul Ring. Play the Rakdos Signet. Maybe I should put Grape Shot in here. We have, what did I say, like 24 mana in our mana pool. Alright, so we're going to pop these 16 treasures for 16 red mana, 17, 18, plus 24, 42 mana. Okay, 42 mana. So we're going to play Fate of Firepower for 39. Oh, 40. We're going to play Fate of Firepower for 40, and then we're going to attack. We add mana to our mana pool. Yeah. And then hope that we connect. Sorry I didn't get too many X spells in there, but you saw, even without, like, the infinite attacks, we got lots of mana and stuff like that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I'm Wisdom of the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. What's up?